guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you mounts for the Gaming Dragon. Today, I am coming at you with a new Let's Play series on Arches. This is going to be taking Conway's place in that lineup that I have of Conway and Just Friends. So it'll be Arches and then Just Friends, and then when I finish Just Friends, it'll be something else. So anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. This is the full 1.0 release. We're going to be going from this from start to finish, trying to cover as many routes as we can. I don't know anything about this other than it is a sequel to the first game, Echo. So let's go ahead and jump in, y'all. Alarm saying you were up, and let's go. Does the horror still remain in the haunted town of Echo? Yeah, it says run. That's not good. Oh, the artwork. Running was something he was always good at. He was always the fastest in his class. Just last year, he came in second to the 200-meter dash at the state track meet. Just 8 months ago, a coach from the University of Pueblo approached him about joining the track and field team after graduation. Just last month, he realized he was the fastest freshman on the team. Just last week, he started to hang out with older men who could get into Pueblo's gay bars. Just 3 days ago, one of these men spiked his drink. Just 2 days ago, he woke up in restraints. Just yesterday, he was being tortured. Just 10 minutes ago, he escaped. But now he's realizing that it doesn't matter. Everywhere he looks is only burning desert. There's no one. His attempts to scream for help matter even less because his voice is broken. He can barely wheeze after what the man did to him, and how his empty droning sounds are being swallowed up by the desert. All the while, the heavy steps scraping through gravel behind him keep coming. The man isn't in a hurry at all. Running was something he was always good at. But now, when it matters most, he can't do it. The fastest freshman at D1 University is no faster than an old druggie. He definitely would have been if he'd eaten anything over the past 3 days. If his ribs weren't broken, if he could see straight. The man had given him something. He told it was for the pain, but the pain is still there, and now he can't even stand. His balance is shot, and he keeps stumbling until he's just crawling on all fours. It's now that he realizes the man had let him get away on purpose. It makes him realize something else. He's going to die. Tired from the drug, from the past 3 days of constant fear and torture, and from trying to run, he collapses. He lays there in the dirt, sobbing, even though tears don't come out. He'd run out of those after all the things the man did to him. The light above is blinding. He wonders if this is God. His mother is a devout Catholic, and even though he never believed, he promises his light that he'll become a believer right here and now if it saves him. The crunching gravel footsteps get closer. I need to go. His voice is still ragged and hoarse. Alright, already starting off a little bit fucking heavy. The footsteps come even closer. I have, meat. There's a childish, high-pitched laugh. Oh, God, we know who this is. Think I must have hit you one too many times. All you do is talk about your fucking track bullshit now. The huge form moves closer. You know that shit don't matter no more, right? His chest aches with overwhelming sadness and despair. And it's not just because he's about to die. It's because his mom won't know what happened to him. And it's because the last text message he saw from her was, "Love you, bug," with 10 heart and kissing emojis. At the time, he just rolled his eyes and didn't respond. He thought he'd be able to do that the next day, or the day after that. After he'd been kidnapped, the man took his phone and sat it on the counter. I sat there and buzzed over and over with messages. It sat there over and over and buzzed with messages, and his kidnapper only laughed when he asked to at least read them. Now the tears flow just as the man leans over him with something heavy in his paws. He hopes his mom is right about God. He hopes he can see her from the other side, just so he can respond somehow. But there's only... Cameron holds on to the seat tightly, the coyote's teeth rattling together with every pothole they hit. His boyfriend Devin doesn't seem bothered at all. The bear's paw on the wheel with an elbow hanging out the window. He had been singing loudly to the music playing through the car's Bluetooth speakers, and it wasn't until cell phone service was lost that Devin finally seemed to notice Cameron's unease. You alright, babe? I think you could go a little slower. What? Cameron raises his voice, yelling over the rattling interior. Go slow. Go slower. Why? This is the kind of terrain this baby was built for. Okay, but... Cameron's voice bounces as they hit another deep groove in the destroyed road. We don't know what's around any of these bends. What if it just drops off and we go down a ravine or something? That's what the roll bars are for, honey. And I'm pretty sure I'm about to chip a tooth. Oh, come on, you gotta admit there's something nice about feeling the road. Cameron doesn't respond and goes on clutching at his seat. Devin does slow down a bit, though, more carefully maneuvering around the most broken-up parts of the road. What happened to the road, anyway? It's only been, what, 5 years? Flash floods, according to what I read online. Obviously no one's around for upkeep, so this is what happens. Oh yeah, I forgot how the state works. Dry as hell until a wall of watery death comes down the road during monsoon season. A coyote tenses up as the bear makes another smooth but still sudden turn. And it's even hotter than I remember. How are you a coyote, Cameron? This is your climate. You know better than to say that. Just because I'm built for it doesn't mean I have to like it. Yeah, but you hate it in Fort Allen, too. It doesn't get ungodly hot there, though. I can at least deal with it. Well, the transfer to Bonneville City is looking good, so you won't have to deal with it much longer. Cameron shrugs. Milder weather would be nice, I guess. Devin grins. Nicer weather, nicer scenery, and nicer people. Everyone's a Mormon. Which is why they're nice. The ones living down here aren't. There's a big difference between the fundamentalist and the normal ones. The ones that baptize dead people and wear Jesus jammies under their clothes. Dev shrugs. Most religions are weird when you break them down like that. I'm just saying, whether it's magic garments or prairie dresses, they came from the same fucked up place. Devin doesn't say anything, and Cameron realizes how bitchy he sounds right now. Sorry, I just worry how they might look at us. It's harder to gauge people when they're all fake nice. Yeah, that's true, but look! Dev nods his head towards Cameron's window, and the coyote follows his gaze. The rocky, uneven landscape is opened up to a wide expanse of blue. That's Lake Emma, which means Echo is... The bear looks ahead, and the first thing that Cameron sees is a tall, rusty sign with letters on the top that he can't quite read from this distance. Below it is a small, shabby building, and beyond it are a few smaller, even shabbier buildings. Cameron wasn't sure what he'd feel like when he first saw the town. If the coyote really is what Devin thinks he is, then right now he'd feel all the awful, evil things that supposedly happened here. Those small, run-down buildings should be exuding the memories of their past, which would then be projected into his mind. Cameron feels... nothing. Of course, he kind of knew this would be the case, but he'd never been to a place that was famously haunted. Not like Echo, anyway. So he worried just a little bit. Dev asked him in the past to go on his amateur paranormal investigations, all because the coyote could see things. He'd remind Dev the proper word was hallucinate. The things he saw were manifested by his own mind. There was no reason for him to give it fuel by going someplace supposedly haunted. Dev got the message pretty quickly and stopped asking. They still talked about all his interests he had, though, and Cameron realized there was a lot more to Devin's interest in ghosts than just dumb fun. Even though he'd refused to entertain Devin's psychic bullshit, the bear still took care of him. He'd done so much for the coyote that Cameron was embarrassed to think about it sometimes. So when Dev got his chance to go to the place he wanted to go the most, Cameron decided he had to go as well. He's doing this for Dev, to show his appreciation for everything that Dev had done for him. Still, Devin had been trying to make this seem more like a vacation of sorts, like Cameron wouldn't be doing any investigations at all. He would need to talk to the bear and let him know that he was willing to do this for real, at least within reason. He also needed to tell him why he didn't like doing this, and that part might be hard. It doesn't look so bad for a ghost town, I mean. Looks can be deceiving. Hang on, gotta pull over for a sec. Why? Want to scout out the lake a bit before dark, and I also gotta take a massive leak. Cameron tries not to sigh, just wanting to get into the town so he can be sure that he doesn't feel anything, to really make sure that there's nothing to be worried about. He isn't worried about ghosts, but rather his own brain and what it might do. The road becomes smoother and newer looking as they pull up to the lake. That lake is a hell of a lot more detailed now. Looks beautiful. If only it wasn't for what happened there. They were trying to turn this reservoir into a recreational spot right when it all happened. They both get out, Cameron stretching his legs gratefully. Oh, a cutie. That's too bad. It looks kind of nice. Oh, another cutie. Yeah, this place has had a long string of bad luck. Bad luck is one way to put... Hold that thought. I gotta pee. Dev waddles away, clearly having held it until he almost couldn't anymore. Cameron shakes his head, remembering all the rest stops they passed on the interstate. With a sigh, Cameron leans up against the Jeep, staring out across the lake. This really isn't bad at all, so far. Sure, they weren't in town yet, but all those dreams he had, all those terrible feelings, they seem silly now. It's just a small former town with a sad history. If his brain was going to manifest something out of this, that something would just be sad. Cameron knows that his hallucinations aren't real. He's known that since he was a kid, after he first saw a monster in a raincoat in his trailer home. He also knows that ghosts aren't real either. But Devin believes, or at least he wants to believe. He wants it so badly and he thinks Cameron can see them. Cameron knows there's something extremely wrong with what could be a disorder being used like this. Devin is also aware of this, painfully aware. To the point that Cameron was able to tell days in advance that he was going to ask about taking him on this trip. And yeah, this is wrong, but the bear doesn't even think Cameron is mentally ill, or at least that's how it comes off the coyote. Devin doesn't understand how it feels to struggle with reality, to have these problems and never get a proper diagnosis. Cameron just knows that something is wrong, and always has been. That, and Cameron never really told him what it was like, so how could he understand? He told him a little bit, but he'd always been worried in the back of his mind that Dev would leave if he told him everything. So Dev took those snippets of insight into Cameron's psyche and somehow interpreted it as him being gifted. He couldn't blame the bear. Sometimes the things he seemed to sometimes the things he sees do seem to have a deeper meaning, like there's more to it than just mental health. But it isn't just the nature of various mental disorders not recognizing the illness for what it is. It had been over 5 years at this point, and Dev had seen Cameron at his worst, at his absolute craziest, and somehow he'd stuck around and still believed the coyote was just a normal guy with some personal issues. Cameron hugs himself a little tighter, realizing that now is the time to really talk about it. And then after this, they can have a fresh start in Bonneville. Phew! I'm at least 3 pounds lighter after that. You know, I don't mind taking a piss in the wilderness. I'm not doing anything more than that. Yeah, I was kind of hoping there would be a porta potty or two around here, but it looks like we'll have to dig some holes. Dev! Whoa, just kidding, babe. You can drive to the rest stop. What's wrong? The coyote pauses, trying to get into the mindset this sure to be uncomfortable conversation is going to require. Just give me a second. Cameron sees the bear's demeanor change instantly. Okay, but while I'm giving you that second, I'm sorry for teasing you and being all gross. I know this isn't really where you want to be right now, and I was just trying to lighten the mood, and you know it's because I love you. Jesus Christ, stop! Devin goes quiet and swallows, the loud sound it makes almost comical. There's a pause, and though Cameron tries to keep a straight face, the tension just seems to break on its own. I would much rather hear you make poop jokes than act like that. It's so weird. What, being considerate? Sort of. You are considerate, just not in that weird, anxious way. Well, sue me for trying to be careful. I just don't want to say something stupid, and... Cameron cuts the bear off, not wanting to put this off any longer. Devin, just listen for a minute. I know you haven't said it, but let's just get it out in the open that we both know I'm here for more than company. I'm not that stupid. And I just want to say that I don't think this is a good idea because what I have is some kind of problem, not an ability. I know, I shouldn't think of it that way, but I researched it and I just think it lines up with you having a mental... Dev cuts himself off as Cameron sighs deeply. Please, don't. I'm sorry. Devin cuts himself off this time, trying to hide a wince. I mean, you're right that we don't exactly know what my problem is. I just know it's not good. But what's important is if it helps you, whether I think it's real or not. You've done a lot for me, and I want to be able to do something for you. No, what I think doesn't matter. What's most important is... So, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be your psychic for the weekend. Wait, really? Dev, I'm not spending the whole time role-playing like we're having a good innocent time in that murder town. But I don't want to make you do something you don't... Oh, I want to. I might not like it, but I want to do it. If only for you. Cam? Nope, I've made my decision, and I'm doing it. But just this once. If you're sure, but please don't put me ahead of your... And I did some research on that form you linked me to a few years back, so my sixth sense is primed and ready. That seems to finally snap Devin out of his reluctance and slight annoyance at getting cut off every sentence. Wait, seriously? There were so many people like you on that form, did you... Listen, I want you to find your answers, I really do, but I think the worst thing I could do is lie to make you feel better. I'm going to be completely honest about everything. Cameron leans up against the Jeep. Whether or not I see something. Of course, that's what I want. And that's why you shouldn't be getting your hopes up right now. I'm just telling you that I'm going to try. The bear stares at Cameron for a few seconds, just smiling. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all if I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver, and thank you above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 3 gold tier patrons, Zeke, Toby, and Blue Wolf Alpha. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if you want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Safe for Work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I shall see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!